What's up, guys? Welcome back to AC Designs Garage, and on today's episode I'm going to show you how to cut and buff that 2K spray paint clear coat, make it look like $1,000,000, show car, whatever you want to call it, stand out the crowd, make all your friends jealous of your paint job. Here we go. If y'all saw the video last week, we sprayed this 1972 C10 bedside with some gloss white turbo spray paint and then shot it with the 2K Spray Max clear on it. So this week I'm going to show you how to cut and buff it and make it look like a show car for next to nothing. We only had $55 in the sprayables on this bedside, so it's pretty good. Guys, today it is gorgeous. It is supposed to be 75 degrees a day. Then the rest of the week's supposed to be raining, so that's why we're dealing with that. Anyway, all right, guys, this is the bedside that we shot last week. She got a little peel in her stuff, got a little buggy bug. Well, that's on the outside, but she don't look too bad. But we're gonna take care of this old orangey peel on here and try to get her slick as possible. I will say the only downside to filming this white is it just don't show up good on here, but I'm gonna try the best I can to show you this. But we're gonna do what I'm gonna call a driver's cut and polish, buff, whatever you want to call it. We're not gonna cut and buff below this unless it just has a run or something like that below this body line here. We're just not gonna cut and buff it. And I'm gonna show you where your problem spots would be if you, when you go to cut and buff, you got to watch out for like these sharp edges here. You got to be careful of sharp edges. So if they intimidate you a little bit, which they can, you can just always run you just a little piece of 1/4" tape over this, so when you're sanding you're not feathering on that and cutting through it on accident. So if you got any places that you're a little concerned about, you can always put masking tape over it. But let me show you the products we're going to be using today on it. And also I'm going to link all the stuff I can in the description box below. Helps the channel out a little bit. I make a very small percentage off this stuff, guys, and it don't cost y'all any extra or anything like that. It's just a way to help the channel out and a way to find it down below. So all right, we're going to be using it. Man, that dude's making a lot of racket. Why do you have to start now? Anyhow, Scott Shop Rags, the old Harbor Freight Bauer DA polisher. My buddy Dan sent me this handle that'll go basically right there on here, so you got a little side handle, because these don't have a side handle on them, and he sent me one of these through the PO box. That's listed below in the description also. But thank you, Dan. We're going to use this today. It's been a while since he sent it to me, but I really appreciate it. We're going to be using the M105 to cut with and the M205 to polish with. And for this, and I've done another video where you change the grease in the head, it kind of hops it up a little bit. I use the Meguiar's 6-inch microfiber DA pads. This is the, I guess, the cutting one. Yeah, you can tell the difference in the cutting and the finish because of the thickness of the foam on them. So I got a cutting one here that's thinner, and then we got the polishing and some microfiber, clean microfiber towels. I like these little squeegees here to wipe them off. I got a hard Durablock, or a fairly firm Durablock, and I like these Motor Guard soft blocks because one side is soft and one side is a little firmer. We're going to try to do 1500 2500 3M wet dry paper. I got the 15 in there soaking already. These stay down in there. Actually, I need to get some Dawn dish soap and put in there. You squirt that in there. You try to make it greasy where it ain't grabbing a lot. So I forgot to do that, guys. So let me go grab a bottle of Dawn or any kind of car wash. It don't matter. You're not painting over top of this, so you don't tend to want anything that's got wax in it, but that's why I just use Dawn. Yeah, it just makes it like a lubricant for the sandpaper to scratch a little easier. All right, we got this vintage bottle of Dawn dish soap here, and you want to make sure that you put this in after you put the water, because if you don't, it'll just turn into a sudsy bucket of foam, and we don't want that. We just want it to be greasy. So we already got our water in here, and we're just gonna go around there and put some in there and make her greasy. Basically, we're gonna wipe this thing down because, like I said, it's dirty. Look at this, just from sitting out here, just nasty, dirty. Like these things sit out here, I test them. They sit out in the sun, they sit out in the mowing around them. I try not to blow grass on them if I can help it, but they sit outside and they get nasty, and I just want to show you how they hold up. Also, I got me just a little old bottle of water. These Zep bottles here, I'll try to link it, but every time I go to link them, they just don't want to show up for some reason. These are really good. I get these at Lowe's or Home Depot, and we're just gonna soak this mug down and wipe it off, because you don't want any contaminants underneath it when you start sanding on it. You don't want to put any big old gouges in or nothing like that, so we're gonna wipe her off real quick. Yeah, like I said, we're not gonna cut below this body line. I call that a driver just because you're not gonna be able to see any different, and this is a demo panel. Now, if you do want to cut below it, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna start first. I choose my blocks off of what areas I'm doing. Like this firm block, you're not gonna be able to get this radius here, but the firm block will work great for down to here. It'll cut it good and flat, and up here we'll use it. And in the areas that we got to do any rolling or radius, we'll use this kind of softer one. I keep these in my bucket in the water. So we're gonna start out with the 1500. It's been soaking. Come here. And I got some 1000 in there. I just want to see. The peel's not horrible. We'll just check it out and see how it is. The rougher the scratch you put in it, the higher you got it, the more sand you got to do. Because basically what we're doing here with the sandpaper is your first one, your 1000 or 1500, is going to make your shape. It's going to cut it flat and get everything flat, get the peel out of it. After we get it flat with the 1500, we're going to come back with 25, and all the 25's doing is taking the 1500 scratches out. And the 25 busts pretty easy. So basically you're not going to want to sand straight back and forth no more than you have to. I do everything on a diagonal. And people, oh, you got to cross hatch. Well, I do go back and cross hatch. It's basically a diagonal this way and diagonal that way. And you just want to go back and forth. But sometimes you'll see me just doing this. It's fine too. You just don't want to condense your area real bad where you're sanding. If that makes any sense. I hope it does. Sorry if it don't. But see, I'm doing a long angled stroke instead of right this. You don't want to do that. And we're going to work about probably a 1 foot square area. And also keep listing out, because if you hear what I call a zinger, you have a piece of trash that gets under there, it'll just have a screechy chalkboard, fingernails on a chalkboard sound. You don't want that. You just want to stop, go clean your panel off. And because if you don't, it'll keep putting big old gouges in it. And guys, this stuff is not as hard as a lot of people try to make it out harder than what it is. There's just a few precautions you need to take. But most people try to make it harder than what it is because they're charging you too much to do it. And if you can do it yourself, you can save a lot of money. I have. So we're going to go over it. You can kind of feel on here. It'll stop gliding as easy and stop having that rough sound. You'll know when you're about there, because all you want to do is get it pretty flat. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to take my little squeegee here. And we're going to see if she's getting flat or not. Like I said, this white, the black I can show you guys better, but this white is not showing up. It's good on camera. Let's see if we can get you in here a little closer to be able to see it. Can you guys see them little sparklies look like the shiny spots? Then you look down here, there's no shiny spots. There's little stars up here like. This has still got peel, this don't. You want it to look like a flat white. Basically no little sparklies like that right there. But yeah, anyways, it's sanding pretty good with the 1500. I think we're gonna go with it and keep on trucking. And also I keep a little rag in here you can just lay on top of the bedside. Also I soak me a rag and just lay on top of the bedside, and just whenever you need some water you can just push on it a little bit. I'm not going completely over that lip right there. I'm just stopping right before it, but when I come down to it, I just kind of cock it up on a 45 and just roll my edge like that right there. Keep doing the same angle. That little piece of trash right there. It's gonna show because I think it was under the white, but hey, you can always come back and sand it if you want to take a chance. But these light colors, and you can pick it, and I may show that on another episode. You can take a razor blade after you're done cutting and buffing and pick that out. Just pick you a divot where that is. You can spray some of that turbo in a cap and just keep dabbing it in there till you get it almost filled to the top, then you can spray it a little on. The problem with the 2K is you're gonna waste the whole can if you ain't got something else to do with it. But spray some 2K in a cap and come back and dab it and build it high, and come back and just buff it off. Is how you fix them. We may do a video on that. It'd be easier for me to show you than to tell you. But I would make sure if you're doing another job with the 2K, I wouldn't waste a whole can of that 2K, because once you hit that activator, that stuff, I think you got 48 hours. And I'm doing the same thing up here on this top when we get to this. I don't think about it. But when we get up here to this top end of this roll, I just kind of bring it over here, cock it up on like a 45 and just roll it. Or you could get the other one, but I'm so used to doing this. I just roll her up on the edge and keep her moving on an angle like it. And then once you get to this part, you can roll it back down and just let your wrist roll with it. This clear and stuff has been sitting for about 6 days. I shot the video last Wednesday. Today's Tuesday of the following week, so around 6 days or so. It's been sitting here drying, and it's sanding pretty good. I'm probably not going to cut and buff this top edge either, because it's got some bad cracks from previous body work and all that in it. All right, guys, this is the second round of 1500. Once your sandpaper stops cutting, just stop using it, throw it away. Don't be cheap like I am sometimes. You're just wearing yourself out. But we're going back to another round of 1500. I've switched to my soft, the motor guard block or whatever it's called, because I need to get down in some of these little radius places. And you can go over the rest of it. The stiffer blocks just help you get stuff straighter, but it's pretty flat with the other blocks, so I switched to this one. And it'll get down in these little crevasses here real nice, and it'll roll this radius and get all them. So we're just going to run over it probably just one more time, because it looks pretty good. We'll squeegee it off. I'll let you look at it. If we see any problem areas, we'll fix it. But like I said, be careful around your hard edges and stuff, because that's where the paint's the thinnest. My arms are starting to get tired. You can DA this, but some of you guys don't have DAs, so I'm showing you this way. And this is actually a better way of doing it, because if you don't catch it quick with a DA and you get one of them little squirrely squirrels or the zingers, it'll put some marks all in this that you got to get out. And another little trick, guys, you can do, just don't drop it on the ground, is you can use this for a squeegee. You can use your blocks for a squeegee if you ain't got one of them little rubber ones. And you can see, let that dry. I'm gonna go do this end. Yeah, I'm sorry y'all can't see no better than this. If I ever get, before I can do it inside, we can put good lighting on it. That way you can see what I'm doing. But white is, it's good that white don't show stuff, but when you're trying to show it on video, it's even worse. Where'd my rag go? You guys see my rag anywhere? There it is. Don't drop it. If you drop yours on you drop this block or sandpaper on the ground, make sure you take it to the sink or another bucket and rinse it out, because you don't want them dirt and grit and stuff on it, because it'll make a mess. Alright guys, I was doing some figuring that maybe some of you guys may have DAs and you'll want to DA it, so I didn't want to leave y'all out. So we're going to be doing 1500. I use the hook it stuff with the interface pad. We'll link all this stuff. This is a Ingersoll Rand Mac Tools or Matco tool DA, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. It's gonna keep it basically flat. Now the DAs, you want to stay away from them edges. You don't want to roll over an edge because these cut faster. It's not bad looking. Up in this front area is still a little bit, so I was like, well, maybe I can show them a little bit of this. Here we go. We're gonna soak her down real good. Soak that down real good. I'm gonna turn about half throttle. We'll see. Yeah. And we're gonna kind of work it at an angle the same way. You don't just want to ride an area. You want to watch these areas. You can run over them, but don't stay on them. Roll over like this. I just overlap it about 50%. Will come up, and then we'll just move over just a little, maybe 75%. We'll go up and down like this all the way down, then we'll come back and forth, then we'll check it. But keep her lubricated. Every now and then come back and just kind of clean off your sandpaper. Get the old sludge off this thing. Clean water to rinse it down. I'm gonna dry her off. Alright, I'm gonna let that dry and we'll be right back. Alright guys, that is looking pretty good and flat. That's what you're wanting to see. You're not wanting to see any shiny spots or anything. And that is in the 1500. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. And you can see up here, it's got almost an eggshell, especially on this white, it looks like an eggshell, but yeah. So we're gonna jump on over to the 2500 real quick. It shouldn't take too long with the 25 because we cut it real good with the 15. Like I said, we're not trying to shape anything at this point. We're just trying to cut the 1500 grit scratches out. So let's get at it real quick and we'll start the buffing. All right guys, our 2500 has been soaking in our Dawn and water solution. I'm just gonna wet it down. We're gonna work half at a time. You don't want to work too big an area, so we're just gonna go from the middle back. We're just going to use this motor guard on it. We don't need to do the flat block because everything's shaped already the way it needs to be. And we don't want to cut through at this point. We're just trying to take the scratches out. like I said, we just gonna go over it a couple times right here. No need in really hogging down on it. We're just gonna go back over, make sure we got it all good. Like I said, we're just rolling up to the edge right here. This is the fun part, because this is when it starts to shine a little bit. You wouldn't think sand scratches would shine, but get around 2,500. This thing here's starting to shape up and look pretty good. What other colors you guys interested in seeing? Because my other side is black. We're going to leave it for a year, like we've said before. What color would you like to see on this side? We can change this up. I don't care. Somebody wanted to see white, we done white, and we can do it a metallic silver with the clear coat, or two-tone, or whatever y'all think. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. The one that has the most response is probably gonna be the one we're gonna do. Now back here on this corner, I can feel a little bit of texture to it. You can feel it in your block. And all this right here, it just glides real easy. But back here behind this marker light, it's got a little peely feel to it. And you do a little bit of this, you'll figure that out. But I can feel the peel just a little bit, so just gonna address that. Roll this edge, blend that in a little bit, and we'll be halfway done. Now the real easy part, if you want an easy buff and keep taking it on up, you can get the 3000 Trizac on the DA. I think you can get it sheets too. But you jump on up to the 3000 and you just barely touch that buffer to it and she shines. Oh, this thing's so slick, I'm gonna fall off of it. Alright guys, I think that's gonna be good enough. If we got some spots, we'll buff it out, or we'll come back and touch it up. I'm gonna go ahead and get this other side, other half, and we'll be finished. Alright. Clean water. You got a hose pipe, you can rinse it off that. I ain't got one down here. Right guys, I got to slick that looks that water on it. That's what she's gonna look like buff, so I'm gonna move this and give me a dry place to, yeah, let me take this rag and wipe it off so we ain't got no scunge on it. Oh, C10 body shape looks pretty good white. Didn't think I would like it white, but it's pretty good. Right. right, guys, there she is. Look, you already start seeing a little reflection up here. This is the 2500 down through here. It's gonna be a problem for you guys to see it because in the sun is too bright, in the shade is too dark, but I think we'll start getting a little sheen to her. Yeah, she's looking pretty good. All right, we are gonna go with the 105 and the thin cutting pad, microfiber cutting pad. Then we're gonna go to the 205 and the thicker pad, and we'll be ready. All right, guys, let's try to do our little modifying here and put our little side handle on that buddy Dan, the man from Colorado, sent. So this thing's got a little Philippe screw over here, little Phillips on this side, on both sides, so you can do it either side. Check that out. See, before, and you can still hold it like this if you got to get into a tight place close to the ground, but you know how much easier it is going to be to balance this thing. Thank you, Dan. This right here is really going to help, so we're going to try her out. The good thing is we can swap her from side to side if we want to. So I'm going to throw our little screw here in the box so we can keep up with it, but I think that's going to be good there. Screws right in. We'll definitely link these below if you want to scoop you one up for your little buff over here. So we're going to get our, this is the used one, my new ones ain't come in yet. Here's the little cutting pad, and it's all Velcro. They got good Velcro on these. If you hadn't saw where I demoed this thing, I put a little mark on these so you can tell if it's rotating or not, because you want it rotating this way and this way, dual action. But if you push down too hard on it, it won't rotate, it won't cut as fast. But we're gonna get her plugged in, the 105. I'm gonna show you how to sauce it up and get this thing shining. All right, guys, the way you want to sauce this up is I just run around here, and then you just want to really mix it in. You want every one of these fibers to have compound on it, because the more fibers have compound, the faster it cuts, less you got to do. So you don't want to work harder, you want to make the equipment work harder. Rub it in really good like that. You only got to do this when it's new, fresh, if you want to call it, ain't got nothing on it. Do that, then come back, put you a couple little dots here and there, and I got mine on about 4, I think is what it's on, 3.5, 4. Gonna get the buffing. Rub that a little bit in. The good thing about these buffers is they don't sling stuff everywhere. I'll just rub that in, and we'll just work a section like we did sanding it. And I use my trigger lock. Just if you're not comfortable with it, don't use it, but I use it. Keeps your hand from getting tired. Man, thing done jumped up there pretty quick. Phew. Oh, white, shiny, shiny. Get y'all over here to check it out. That was just one round with it. Look at that. Reflection. It don't reflect as good as the black, just because what it is, but man, she looks good. Let's get us down here. Move some stuff out of the way. Shoo, shiny boy, slicker than snot. What y'all think about that? That's just one run over it. I may do one more quick run over it, and then we'll go down and finish that in. And you can kind of see the body work in here. It's just hadn't been done that much on this one. That other side's been blocked good. This side here is just as is. I didn't do any work to it, but don't look too bad. You can see reflection pretty good. All right, this time we're just going to take our fingernails and scratch it up a little bit just to stand all the fibers back up. You saw how quick that buffed up. I mean, it goes chalky here to shiny that way. So we're just going to come back a few little dots here and there. We don't need a lot because it'll cake it up eventually. Sometimes you got to come back and wash the pad off and dry it. But I don't think this one's going to be that bad. All right, here we go. That little handle makes a whole lot easier to balance that thing. Hands not cramping up. I dig that. I appreciate you sending that, Dan. That really helped out. I never thought about putting that on there. Yeah, now you can start seeing some reflection in it. Yeah, now she's starting to start seeing some color even in here in the white. See if you can see the difference in right here. You can still see it's chalky, then it goes to glossy, chalky to glossy. That's what we're doing. So let's go get this side right here knocked out real quick, and we'll go do the polishing on it, and we'll be done. Fluff her back up. Air hose works good for this too. I might have to bring it out here, but I think we're gonna have enough. It's gonna run enough without having to do it, but a good air hose will blow these things up too. All right. Alrighty. Look at that gloss, guys. That white is gleaming. All my cans of oil and transmission. Man, glad that stuff's there so you can see it. Yep, that is white gloss turbo can with 2K Spray Max clear, and that is all spray paint, guys. What y'all think about that? All right, what I done was I took our cutting pad off and threw it in the bucket over there that's, you know, we used to wet sand with. Just let it soak in that soap, and then I'll take them to the house and put them under hot water and a little bit of soap and rinse them out real good and let them sit up and dry, and they'll be good as new. You can use them several times. Yeah, this right here is a little thicker, so you can really roll on it, but this here don't take long at all. I can usually go over it twice, a section twice, and wipe it off, and be good to go. So we're gonna do it the same way. I'm gonna center this up on there. Yeah, be careful when you're taking these things off, guys. Make sure you're holding the edge of this and pulling it back, because they put good Velcro and you can tear these things up. But you can't buy replacement backing pads, but you'll tear these up if you don't watch it. So now we're gonna go around it like that, do a couple drops and work it into it. Same thing, make sure you get each one of these fibers need to be loaded up. And this stuff here, you can go a lot further on it too. Now we're gonna put us about 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 little drops on here. So we're gonna get to buffing it. Same speed. I'm gonna do it on the 3.5, 4. Let's see how she looks. Oh yeah, that polish always brings it up just a little bit more. Then you do a good, put some that Griot wax on the other side. First time I tried it, I really liked it. It gave it the shine, but I'm not gonna wax this because you guys are probably gonna want to see another color on this, and I don't want to have to worry about it. All thing you do is wax and grease or alcohol or something like that to take it off, but no need putting it on there. I will say, guys, that looks pretty daggone good. When you can start seeing a bright yellow rag in a reflection, I don't know how good you guys can see it, but man, good gravy, look at that. Shiny. I probably cut and buffed this spray paint stuff 10 or 15 times, and it still amazes me the reflection quality that you get. People just don't believe it. See, it ain't wrinkling. I get guys, oh, that stuff's gonna wrinkle and crack. Next week's video is probably gonna be I think it's 4 or 5 month review on the other side that has not been touched. Sitting out in the sun and the rain and the snow and everything else. All right, guys, we're fixing to make this a little shinier and finish this up and call it a day. All right, we're gonna fluff her up. A couple drops, and you don't need a whole lot. You start caking a lot of this stuff on it, it'll basically cake up the pad and you'll have to wash it sooner. So let's do it like that. And I'm gonna put about 3 drops more on it and rub it into the panel. Well, 4. Couldn't stop myself. All right, rub her in a little bit. Phew, about to get a little warm out here. 70-some degrees, I ain't used to. All right, guys, that's looking good, good, good. get you a little closer where you can see the reflection, the quality of the reflection. And guys, you can do this too. You saw how to do it. That's why I've been trying to do more in-depth videos. Some people don't like the more in-depth, but I'm doing this for you beginner guys. I want you guys to succeed and do a good job and see that y'all can do it with no trouble at all. And y'all can. You mess up, you sand it off, fix it again. That's why I say, try on you a little panel. Get you a fender or a door or something like that, or whole bedside if you want to. And this is the way to learn. I mean, you can sand this and mess it up, sand it, mess it up, whatever, and figure out what works for you, what don't work. And you ain't out a whole lot. I mean, it costs $55 to paint this bedside. $55 to get that kind of reflection. I like it. I like the white a lot. Kind of wondering if we ought to two-tone it black and white, or just go ahead and shoot it and do it a silver metallic, gunmetal metallic with the clear over it, cut and buffed. Whatever y'all want to do, we'll do it. All right, guys, hope this little video helped you out. If you want to see anything else, make sure you drop comments below. Make sure you head on over to www.acdesignsgarage.com. Scoop you up one of them Shakemaster 4000s. We'll have the new AC Designs Death 4 electric shirts in probably a week or two. They on their way. Still got a few Richardson 112 AC Designs hats in there if you want to scoop you one up, help the channel out. And remember, be kind to one another. Jesus loves you, so do we. God bless. We gone.